Today is March 3rd, 2021. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. We'll go down our usual agenda of release statuses. I think we will, for 119, we just have the CSI proxy build issue left. I think let's follow up on that offline. I think the most pressing thing we have to discuss today is 121. Code freeze is next week, next Tuesday, March 9th. We don't have a lot of time left, so let's see where we are with the features. I think first up is fixing the race condition between node unstage and volume delete. Jawei, have you been following this one? Do you know what the progress is like on this?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think there is any update recently. Just waiting for I don't know. Waiting. We're waiting for who to take another look.
Okay. I guess, Hamad, you said you were gonna take a look at this. Would you have cycles to look at it? I know
Uh,
you're busy with all the FS group stuff too.
yeah, I could look at the entry code review, the entry one first. That's the part of
Yeah.
I have it in open in front of me. Actually, I start to look at it today, so I will definitely review that one first, and I should be able to finish review of that one today. The external provisioner one, I will take a look at it. Just maybe not today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. And I guess, I mean, I think the two are sort of dependent on each other, right?
Yeah,
The external provisioner design is basically to look at the node volumes in use field
yeah.
before doing the delete. Do you think that approach will work? And that's the approach we want to go with.
Yeah, I think Ben had some issues, but we about like preventing this could prevent the workflow where users used to be able to delete the volume that was simply hung on a node. Now I think that was addressed. I
Yeah. So this shouldn't
Uh,
block PVC deletion.
yeah,
So
yeah,
PVC deletion will still go through. It just might be the actual PV object might be hanging around for a while.
the fail state or something, right? Fail state, I think.
It'll be in like a release state and it'll
It's
be
in released.
waiting for the node. It'll be in released, but I think it will be waiting for the node to come back or something, or a node to get deleted.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I'll take a look today.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
yeah, I think mostly the problem is about the scaling because basically in provisioner it is trying to look at all the node to find the volume in use status from the node. And if we have a lot of nodes, that could be a potential like scaling problem for us. Yeah, so that's something we should look again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be using it.
It's we're using informers. It's possible we can, maintain some caches or something of like a volume, any volume that shows up in volumes in use. We add it to some cache. That, well, may or may not work. But anyway,
And
that's a possibility.
I think the one thing about this implementation is even if it's using Informer, and I think in the Sackets implementation, they also do a like API fetch to all the nodes to make sure that the Informer is up to date, and
Hmm.
that could be a I don't know if that's gonna be a problem. Like after he checked the informer, if everything's fine, like it might be cases that the informer is not being up to date. So he did another check, like he fetched the nodes from the API server directly and check again.
I see. Yeah,
So,
that
yeah.
might be expensive. Yeah, okay. We'll have to take a closer look at that then.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is a Performance E2e Test.
Thought he did a update, and I think I pinned someone to take a look. I think he pinned Patrick, or oh yeah, okay. Did Patrick already look at it? Is that?
I've not looked
Yeah.
at. I've probably not looked at the latest individual update, but in general, the approach seems fine now.
Okay.
Okay. I'll also take another look. I remember there was some issue about the way the test was implemented that wouldn't support late binding. So I'll double check and see if that was added or not.
Okay. And Patrick, can you also
All right.
look and see if your comments are adjusted?
I think they were.
They are
but
adjusted. Okay.
Adjust.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Next up is Csi Migration.
I don't think there are any updates. I think one thing we want to make sure for 1.21 is the Azure file. The Azure file goes beta, and there are certain behaviors we wanted to deprecate. I think Amon has already pointed out in the Azure file go beta issue. So I think Andy has already changed the release note, but I'm wondering if we actually should put this information into the website post. Yeah, I don't know, like what would be a good place to let everybody know this deprecation.
I think the yeah, definitely release notes. Were you suggesting also updating the website to talk about this?
I think basically on the website they just like changed the migration status from alpha to beta.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they mentioned any other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it might be good to add it to the web page too, under that section. I think we did something similar for vSphere, right?
I'm not. I don't have any like context.
Okay. I believe for vSphere, like we documented some of that stuff too. So in the website. So I think documenting the stuff for Azure file makes sense as well.
Yeah, I can take follow up on this.
Cool.
Oh,
all right.
and then also another thing is for Ceph
By the way,
FS.
before we
So
go to Ceph, Azure file, the release notes are not quite right what Andy has put actually. There's one deprecation notice and there's one unsupported behavior. Like if you enable the migration, you cannot use FS group at all right now, at least. So that is something we should.
Is that's more of like a known issue, right? That we plan to fix.
Yeah, we should capture it. It's not captured anywhere.
Yeah. So that's fine. But yeah,
Okay.
let's just explicitly in there we can state like what is being deprecated, and we can also state known issues.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
all right.
And then it looks like I think Jan maybe found some race condition regarding
Oh yeah.
attach. Maybe we can open up an issue for that and try to follow up on it.
I'm actually not sure if I. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, it seems it's really. So first, this is really rare. We don't even know like if it can really happen. And I don't know if we actually should like try to fix it, but we can, yeah, definitely make an issue and discuss.
Yeah, I think maybe one thing to investigate is like if we get into the situation, can anything bad happen?
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then the second thing is, are there ways the user can get out of this situation if they get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure I found the race actually. That's why I'm asking.
All right, I can open an issue for this.
I mean,
We'll
it's possible we can, let's see, is it possible that we can actually instrument the code to like trigger this race? It would require basically the attacher. We would need to slow down the attacher informer.
Yeah. And I think that like I don't know if so normally if the scheduler and attacher are on the same node, does that mean like even if it's on two different process, does that mean they can get informer update events like on different time or?
Yeah, I think it's still possible because you can have like depending on how busy those processes are, like the whatever thread is updating the informer may not update it at the same pace.
I see. Yeah, and also to reproduce this, we have to like have a pod that on the schedule when it is being scheduled, it's like the scheduler is up to date, but when we're actually trying to attach it, it's the attacher the KCM is not up to date. So it's weird states.
Could the same thing be reproed by just maybe like this wouldn't repro the race, but can we repro the scenario of the I guess of the volume being attached with the entry method and then updating kubelet to turn on the feature gate.
So you mean without drain the node, just directly restart the kubelet with the migration?
Maybe. Just to see what happens when we get in this scenario, what happens. Anyway, yeah, we can definitely follow up on this, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thank you. Next up is volume snapshots.
I think Grant has addressed your comments, I believe. Can you take another look of the E2e test?
Okay.
And then I think he's also working on the use patch instead of update one. Yeah, I think he's working on it. I haven't seen a PR yet.
Okay. Cool, thank you. Next is ephemeral volumes.
So I do have all PRs pending at this time that I needed, including the documentation documentation PR, the API change, and Jordan already started looking at the API change. Overall, I think I might have one last PR for Hamad. No, but that's for storage capacity. I think this one looks actually fairly good. I also included in the API change the removal of the ephemeral volume source read-only field, which was something that we had discussed as something that we don't really want to perpetrate or repeat again for the new volume source. So I'm taking that out in the beta API, which turned out to be technically a little bit difficult, but it worked in the end with Jordan's help. So I think that's all more or less ready.
Sure. Is there a storage reviewer on that PR about the removal of the read-only field?
No, I think that PR is from today. That would need someone to give the final approval for SIG storage.
Okay, yeah, we'll need to make sure because there's the read-only stuff is really complicated, and
Well,
every level of the field serves a purpose. So we want to make sure we're not removing one of the use cases.
Well, it is a field that Saad didn't want to have already in alpha. So I think removing it is what he wanted because it does remove one of the complications. If it now disables a certain use case, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think we need to evaluate, just like dig in and see did that field actually enable some use case or not, or was it just redundant?
It has exactly the same purpose as in persistent volume claim source. My understanding is that it is basically a global read-only field that applies to all containers and overrides essentially the volume mount read-only flag. Whether that is a useful thing or not, I don't know.
Okay, I mean, yeah, so I think we just need to make sure there's someone reviewing that aspect of it. So
okay, so who should that be?
I guess you said it was Saad who originally was commenting on it.
Yeah, during the alpha review or when we had the design discussions.
So maybe Saad may have the most context and it might be the right person to review this part.
And I'll put him onto it and hopefully he has time. Okay.
All right. And on all your other PRs, do you have the reviewers you need?
I think for generic ephemeral volumes, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. If not, is it Hamad who would be reviewing those, or should I find someone else?
I reviewed the other PR. The beta feature flag where we are turning it. I think it will be great if like Saad or Michelle or where we are removing could review it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have two PRs. Sorry. Yeah. Two or three PRs. Two PRs in flight for generic ephemeral volume, I think. So
yeah, one is the ephemeral volume enablement. I think you LGTM'd that. Metrics
is merged already.
Yeah, that merged today before the brow broke. Okay. Yeah, I think it's all mostly going in. And there is the documentation change for the pod shutdown. That is yet another PR separately. I think Michelle, perhaps you can just acknowledge that this reflects what we've been discussing. I think I already assigned it to you.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I will take a look. All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have storage capacity.
Yeah, same situation essentially. I have PRs for everything pending that needs to go in. For the enabling, I think I still need a reviewer. That is a similar test change. Let me see whether I have assigned it to Hamad. Or did I?
I'm not sure actually, Patrick. I'll have time.
Yeah.
to review
Okay.
So I think actually we were discussing this in the CSI meeting just before this one. I think because we're adding the new max volume field, do we need to keep this in alpha one more release so that we can update the plugins and be able to test it?
No, I think well that's the bigger issue here with CSI storage capacity API. If we don't get the CSI spec updated in time, then my proposal is that we still go to beta without the maximum volume size, because it's really, at the end of the day, it's a minor implementation detail. And if it comes in the CSI spec later, I would say we do a beta v2 with that additional field, and everything will be fairly compatible because it's just really optional information that can be left out anyway.
So I have a question. So I thought in some of the design discussions, we thought you're going to use this new field if it's available. Otherwise, you fall back to the available
Yes.
capacity, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'm fine. If you just only use this new field, then I will feel not comfortable for going to beta directly.
The current state is that we use the available capacity, and that's what's in the API. The API change is that a CSI driver can also provide the maximum volume size, but because it's a new feature, Kubernetes doesn't depend on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the current API PR is basically without that change. So it does the changes for making it beta, flips the feature flag, moves it into the V1 beta 1 API group, and that's it. It's functionally completely identical to what was there as alpha. It's just getting promoted to beta.
Okay.
So do we know when the next CSI release will be? Is it still in time for this?
We are trying to we're gonna cut an RC today, end of day today, which means that the official release will be end of day Friday. So we'll have Monday and Tuesday basically to import the new CSI spec.
Okay. It's more than just importing the spec. We also need to change the API, get it through API review. It should be doable. And the implementation slide has a few more if checks, so it's doable, but it's fairly close. I think I'll try with this PR.
Okay, sounds good. I wanted to also go through and just review because this feature had a number of design things that we needed to resolve as part of the beta criteria. So I want to go through each of those and make sure we have addressed all of the things that we said we would look at.
I think we did, but we can look at the cap and check that.
Okay. I think one major thing I can potentially think of is like the recovery if you get partial binding failures.
Yeah, we do have the open one for multiple volumes, but that's a different cap. For this cap here, we basically said, yeah, recovery is handled by the usual late binding recovery mechanism. And if that mechanism fails, yeah, it's a different problem. Storage capacity doesn't fix that. It just helps to avoid that situation a little bit more.
I guess, though, this is kind of saying like this feature is not going to support the use case with multiple volumes then.
This cap still improves the situation by making it less likely that two volumes end up, well, two volumes, if they are completely independent, yeah, it doesn't really help in that case, no.
So I guess I think maybe the question we need to answer is is, do we want this feature to support that use case? And if we don't want the feature to support the use case, maybe we need to try to prevent or block a user from doing that, because currently today with other persistent volumes, this is a supported scenario.
But why does this feature change anything? It's not getting worse.
It's adding support for a new class of volume plugins, but we're saying that if you want to use this new class of volume plugins, there are certain scenarios that work today that won't work with this.
I don't know what you mean with that. The storage capacity tracking is for storage drivers that currently have to work without informing the scheduler about available capacity.
Hey, I'm sorry. I actually have to drop, so I'll just stop recording, but you guys continue.
So are you saying that